Right, so melee weapons are kind of bumming me out. I'm not a big fan of doing the same thing for a while, and I have really slowed the progress. I think I've got 4 or 6 left to do for melee. Do I have them anywhere? There's the bows we're going to be working with today. I don't think I do. Maybe nether, still bow. Oh, the tower over there. There we go. Time set today. Right, so I think Enchanted was the last one we've shown, and then I think I've done Ender, so then there's still like Golden, Nether, there's still a lot left. It's just kind of tedious trying to balance 7 things all at once. I think I'm going to do bows, because bows should be a lot easier and quicker to just get done. I've started working on the sprites, obviously, so there's 2 variants. The normal trimmed, so using the smithing templates in Minecraft, Mojang's ones, if you will, and then my own, so the chance to defeat or chance to proc, that's actually kind of wrong. What we're looking for is these ones. Let's say aimed, barrage, ender, and normal. There are different ways to customize your arrows, and then yeah, the affinity still. So for instance, a sky affinity bow will probably shoot lightning arrows or something like that. The animations are dynamic, so I should look at that, right? So this is a normal bow. The trim stays where it is, right? If you watch the sprite, it doesn't get pulled back or anything like that. So I only had to create 1 image for it, which is nice, quick and easy to get done. The other ones, however, right, the sprite changes as you pull back the bow and looks a bit more dynamic. Pain in the ass to set up and do, but looks better, right? I think the nether one is a bit nicer. Did I do Enchanted or Overworld? I think I did in both. Let's see. So the idea is, instead of this, we do tab, barrage. I don't know if I set the tooltips yet either. Enchanted. Alright, I did. So multiple short range arrows. Right, grows. And there should be Overworld as well. And what's one of the other tabs? Barrage, aimed, ender, and normal. Ender, aimed. Now what ones haven't I done? I haven't done ancient, so it shouldn't look like anything just yet. Normal. I haven't done celestial. Yes, I have. Oh, I must have misspelled ancient. Yeah, there we go. Right, so it says stock standard original arrows. Ooh. This was meant to be aimed. Ah, aimed is not working. How do I spell it? Tab underscore aimed. Tab underscore aimed. What am I messing up? Nothing. Curious. Why is this one not working? Where does the glossary go? Materials? No. Tags? Functions, items, materials. No. No, it should just be that one file. No, that brush works. Not seeing anything erroneous. It's not working. Right, there's no missed commas. Translates fine, and the asset ID is fine. Which bow was it? None of them. Slash data, get entity. Ancient, tab aimed. It's not showing up. Very, very confusing. Try some of the other ones. Try the spell ones. Wonder if there's a cap I don't know about. They shouldn't need to be included anywhere else. As long as they're craftable. As long as the weapon can have them. Be fine. Items... Durable armor, bows are here, so that's fine. Templates doesn't matter. Heroes doesn't matter. Right, because barriers should be here. I mean, all the other ones work, so it shouldn't matter either. Copy it word for word. Don't know why that would make a difference. No. We go back to barrage. Fine. Just doesn't like aimed. Maybe it's the tooltip. Oh, that's wrong file. Aimed. Fine. Aimed. Yep. If I just change the wording, maybe? We'll look in the resource pack to the atlas. Shouldn't be added here because they're not necessary. Yeah. Should be all I need. Only thing that sort of makes sense or comes to mind is that there is a hard limit. I will try these spell ones, right? Spell underscore fixed. Yeah, that works. I assume all of them work except for just tab aim. Let's get rid of the EDs. Why not? Getting a bit sidetracked, right? But I'm just so confused why this one doesn't work. Everything else works fine as intended. Am I missing? No, the colors from the image. Here's my folders. Difference here. Nothing. You just do this. Control C. Do barrage 2. Alright, we just go 2. 2. That one works. Just does not like aim. I guess aim is a word you just can't use. Right, because nothing else is different. If we change this now to aim, right, because we know it works. Delete the other one. Or aiming. Do that. There we go, finally. No idea why that was so difficult. I guess aim is just a word you can't use. Or aimed. Weirdly enough. Language. Aimed becomes aiming. Okay, back on track. So the first thing to do is to make all these upgrades work. Oh, sorry, it's F3T. Reload the resource pack. Right, so when you shoot this bow, it's meant to shoot multiple short-range arrows. Teleports the player to the arrows. Guided arrows, so guaranteed hits. And stock standard original arrows, which I don't have to do anything for. Right, and then also, what's the overworld bow? Meant to look like the vines are growing. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one. Always kind of hard to come up with different concepts for all of them. So, on to the actual work, right? So, again, I've just pulled them from the old project version. We just have to tweak them and adjust them so that they work. Don't know if I want to double them up. I have the ability to have a bow and another thing in your offhand and double your arrows. I don't think I want to, right? Because I don't think I can roll luck into the mechanic. I think if you shoot this style of bow, it's just always going to trigger the effect. But I think we just want to keep it to the, not offhand, to the main hand, so selected item. I need to open a different one that will serve as a better blueprint. Runechant, functions, pick weapons. Oh. Yeah. No, this is not the right one. Weapon effects. Attack. Better, but still not right. We need something to trigger this. So you still want the weapon effects trigger. But I will have to run something annoying. So I have to make it detect arrows. Also, I've been thinking of a way to like cut down on lag. I think if I were to just cut out all the A's and P's and whatever and just always use @S and then just have a blanket initial command that runs everything off of players. That might be a way to cut down. I don't know if it works the way I think it will work, but you never know. Either way, we need one to designate the player, which will probably do inventory detection, because that should be less constraining than detecting arrows. And then we run a function off that player with the @S to then detect arrows, and then run X function depending on the bow. Right? So we only want to run the arrow detection once. Would the first command just be if they have a bow, maybe? Anyway, we'll copy this one and that one. Stick it in our work in progress so we can work on it. Right. We just need to adjust that in the background. Okay, so we have the tick one. So this is constantly running. So rather than checking scores, we're going to check the player's inventory. Probably going to just check if they have a bow. Right, I think that should be simplistic. Get rid of all that. Selected item. We don't need the tag. Well, actually, no. No, we can check if there is a trimmed bow. Right, not a specific trim, but just a trimmed bow. I think that's a bit better. So if there's a trimmed bow, go. Where's it go? I think it goes here. ID. Why did that not type a bunch of things I just typed? ID. Oh, okay, never mind. Minecraft. Bow. Do I have to count? I don't think I have to count. Right, and then I'll run function weapon effects instead of attack. It will be weapon effects range. Shoot as, it's fine. Yeah, I think that's all we need. Right. And then we detect an arrow. And then if there's an arrow, we detect the bow. Or do we detect the bow, then detect the arrow? What is the least amount of functions? Range. We do both. Probably do both. We have that. We have one of these, so we can copy it over. That. So execute as player selected item instead of this. Means I have to get rid of brackets. No, you know what, we just do that. And we need two sets. One looking for the affinity, and then one looking for the pattern. Yeah. Right, correct. Yeah, and then we have 4 patterns. Although the normal... I probably want to still make the normal bow do something, right? Even if it's just high damage or piercing or something like that. To make it a viable choice. Right, otherwise you'd probably just always go with the other bows. So 4, and then we have 12 affinities. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now to remember them all. Also, play music. Actually, the records get copyrighted, weirdly enough. Because I'm pretty sure I'm in a void biome, so we go over there. We don't mess up. A lot. Okay, so we have patterns. Tab underscore aiming. Tab underscore barrage. Tab underscore render. Tab underscore normal. Materials. Celestial. Dark. How you spell enchanted. Cool, but I can count. Okay, so then each of these runs their own functions. But we don't want them to run constantly. They only need to run if we have an arrow nearby. There's still no music. Just to make sure. Yeah, go on. So here we are. Actually, no, we're just running the tag command. I'm not even detecting if there is an arrow nearby. I need to make sure I have a type arrows. Tags. Oh no, it's under Runechant. I have projectiles. Right, but this is not. No, archer is the one. Arrow, spectral arrow, and trident. Oh, that's an interesting thought, right? Making it work with the trident. And that works. It works for the offhand, right? But while you have a bow, you can't throw a trident and have it something special. Yeah, so that's one. So we use the archer tag. For instance, this instead would be Runechant. Archer. Still no sound. Why? No sound at all? Yeah. Whatever. Let's just grab a jukebox. Okay. One, select nearest, and it's looking for an arrow that doesn't have left owner and is not in ground. Two is fine. You can normally set to, I think, 1.2. I'll tag the arrow with X. Works fine. This step isn't necessary. We're using the first function to check if there's a trimmed bow. And we're using this function to detect which trimmed bow. All these need to be as is. I'm fine with doing. Still like to detect the arrow first. Right now, that first function runs constantly. It's on tick. As soon as you have a bow, it's going to run this one constantly. It's on tick as well. And this one is going to run whichever bow you do have. I think that should be fine. And similar to out here, we just need a bow function for each thing, plus then the actual trigger. Right, so weapon effects, range, and then all of them, which will probably just make them scratch. Gonna play some normal music, Minecraft. I've not saved the other one. That is a good thing to realize. So we need 4 plus 12, we need 16. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Should play music on the home screen, right? No. Very annoying. What do they call music discs? Something in the background. Now, the fun job of naming all these, I should really just do that. Aiming. Barrage. And I remember if I do Affinity X. I might as well. That way they're separated from the other ones. Alright. Looks like it. We need 12 of those. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Agent. Steel. Oh. This counts. That's 3. Overwhelmed. Sky and Soul. Alright, now we can start actually doing the effects. So realistically, all these are going to do is tag the arrow, and we'll have other functions controlling the actual effects. All of the bow effects, though, except for Ender, I should be able to trigger straight away. So I won't need a function running constantly. They can be tacked on into here. Right, from the looks of it, so aimed is adds Perfectionist, and then Perfectionist will to execute as blah blah. It's the player, then as the arrow with the tag, and it'll teleport it to the closest entity. We want 5, so it drops it from the sky. That way it always hits. Probably still go with that. Probably tweak it a little, so it's not floating above them. Obviously then in caves this isn't going to really work. Unless we rename it to something like, I don't know, Dead Drop, or something that sort of implies you're shooting it from above. Arrow Rain, maybe. Won't be too hard to rename. I can just rename the translate rather than what's the actual affinity is called. Yeah, we'll stick with it for now. Okay. Aimed. Up with you. That's done. So, we've already designated that the player has the correct bow. So all we're doing is... No, I need to fix this up first. Shoot as, we also need the @s. Cool. Be better. I'll add the functions later. So now we're just doing... Well, we can just copy the commands perfectly. Oh, that's a lot longer than expected. Change this for now. We even need to add the tag? Right, I can just TP the correct arrow. What else are we doing here? We tag it, we TP it to the closest entity. I've just set this up for the two different arrow types. Yeah, so no, I don't need to do that. Just be executes as @s run TP. No, okay. The reason I tag is because I have to target an arrow and then still target a thing. No. Nope. Get my head. So run execute as the arrow. What's this? As the arrow. But at the entity. So this. Instead of that, it's just Runechant all, I think. Need the hashtag on the archer as well. Just to double check. Yes, it's all with projectiles, all without play, it's just all. Okay, so person who has the bow. You know what we can do? We just trial this as well. We just stick this in a command block. Run executes, and then we change this to obviously us. Dead. Get a bow. Should teleport arrows. Does not. Double check. So it executes as us, add us, run execute as type archer, limit 1, sort nearest has have the NBT, distance of 2, and then at an entity nearby. Boy. Run TP at S, which is now the arrow, to the position, which is 2.5 is what we were setting it to. Right. Ah, but it doesn't kill momentum. That's the only issue. Right. So right now I'm shooting. And it's shooting it from something over here sometimes, but sometimes you. Right, so if I'm over here, you can see it's above the husk's head. That's where it's shooting. It's not getting rid of the momentum. We can't have. Yeah, because then you can never hit anything at all. So you kind of, well, I don't know. Yeah. All we have to do is add a second command, one to delete the momentum. This is what we do where... Yeah. We set it to the negative motion. Which should be fine. We set up to Additional, always active. So the first one, delete the momentum, I think. And then the second one, TP. Yeah, because we'll use the same guideline to detect the arrow. I feel like I put a 0 in there somewhere. Oh, no. So execute as blah blah blah, run execute as this. And we just want to data merge entity, just set to add S, and we'll just delete the motion. I don't think we need that. I think that should be fine. Right, so this is command 1, run. And then command 2 is the teleportation. Right, so now if we shoot, the TP is still working, but the momentum is not. Why is that? Am I looking for the tag? Execute as us, at us, target the arrow, same clause as the TP. Right, word for word. Run data merge at S. Execute as the arrow. Data merge. Is the merging the issue? Do we need to set it exactly? S, NBT. I mean, that should be fine. We give this value to an arrow, it should always just drop. That still shoots. Try the other one. Data modify entity at S. Path. We'll do motion. Set. You. Just want in square brackets. Nope. Still teleporting into there, but it's not deleting the momentum. Is motion not the correct thing for a bow? For an arrow, I mean. What we were using before. Run TP. Execute at perfectionist. Motion 1-1 on ground. Persona. Is it because we're silencing the motion right as we shoot it? MBT left owner, so it's still it's not on the ground. Do not understand why this is not working. Let's just go absurd. No, that's not working either. Who can tell me what's messing us up, right? What's triggering before this gets a chance? Ta-da! Guaranteed hit arrows. Because there was one command block. Right, so no matter where I shoot, they're always trying to land on the entities. Looks kind of goofy, right? You can sort of see it move. I do like that teleporting in this, you actually see the entity be dragged or moved. Just feels like we're Gambit or something with guaranteed hits. Okay, we do want to tweak this, right? Try 1.5. Problem is, I don't think this is... Yeah, see how it's not hitting now? That's why I had it set to 2.5. Go the other way. We will try upping the momentum. But it doesn't look like that actually does anything. You know what? It works to some degree. We can tweak it visually later. Fine. Yeah, cool. Only thing, in hindsight, when it comes to the order in which we want to run them, this needs to be last, right? Because it moves the arrows, so it means any other detection where I do this, where I look for the arrow we just shot, it has to run before this command. Also, we also need to fix this up before I paste it into, well, this, because this is the correct document, is it not? Copy it from here, make sure it's accurate. And change me to @s. 1 down, 3 to go. And then the 12 special effects. Ah, it only took me 40 minutes. I work so slow sometimes. Okay. Save that. Close that. Fix up the trigger though. Was this one, right? So all these need to... No. I will have to think about and order these correctly. So, aim has to run last because it will teleport the arrows, meaning it will disqualify them from being detected by any of the other functions. Barrage needs to run first. In fact, we'll work on Barrage now, but Barrage will generate more arrows. So for it to generate the correct arrows... Actually, no. How do I do it? I feel like I copy it sometimes. I copy the motion, and I copy the tags. So in that case, it actually needs to run last as well. Because the whole idea is with these, we will just tag the arrow as soon as we shoot it, and then cause whatever effect to occur. Then the other two. Ender's a bit weird. I feel like we can just put these to the end. Put normal first. Because Ender's basically one of these effects. Tag the arrow and then have it do something when it hits something. In this case, I want to TP the player that shoots it. Anyway, Barrage. Barrage is the next one. Okay. Where is it? All of this. So same thing with detecting the arrow, which I might as well copy over from one we just fixed. Okay, so usually this adds the tag, which we don't really need to do. It decreases the Y velocity, right? Because the whole idea is you're shooting more arrows now. I want them to be shorter. Still want that. Need a few of these. Still doing as, yes, it's fine. Run data modify. S. Okay, so it cuts the Y motion. Then it summons extra arrows. Spectral arrows. I feel like we'll just have it summon normal arrows. Even when you use a spectral arrow. Be nice if I could copy the item ID actually. And that way it's always the arrows you want. Which also means I probably cut this out and I just said it's exactly the same. How many am I summoning? 1, 2, 3. The reason I am summoning so many? Summoning 4 extra arrows. Yes, because I do it as a cross. I do 1 above, 1 below, 1 left, 1 right. Yeah. Using 1 negative 1.6. Which should be around the player's box, so you never hit yourself. Or is it always summoning them at the arrow? It is always summoning them at the arrow. Okay, so we set the motion, we're going to summon 4 arrows, and then we're going to copy over the NBT. This one's going to be fun to test. Done the motion. Need to modify this to as and at. Run summon. I still do need to tag them. So I can modify the correct arrows. We'll just change this to normal arrows though. I think in the old data pack, I made all the bow effects only work with spectral arrows. Okay, so it summons them. And then we copy over. I usually do motion and tag separately. Can I copy it word for word, or does that do the coordinates as well? Data modify entity at S motion. Motion's not under tags either, is it? So it's actually a bit hard. I'll just run the 2 commands. We'll have to tweak this a bit. Wait, why are these different? Curiosity. Oh, will execute at the player, whereas this is just executing at the arrow. Weird. Okay. Increase the motion, summon 4 extra arrows, run data modify, entity at S, motion set from spectral arrow, the other one. Doesn't quite work. These are tagged. So what I can do is I can go tag, whatever we're calling it, which is short in this case. As long as it doesn't have the tag. So always pick the correct arrow, the initial arrow. Right, then I'll data modify, instead of at S, I need to swap these around. There's a reason because you can only data modify 1 entity at a time. I think that's the reason I have it set that way. Yeah. Okay. We can figure this out. Way to do it without having to tag the initial arrow. Or designate the initial arrow in some other way. Execute as the player. Alright, then we can find the other arrow by doing this. Executing as that. Run data modify. We'd have to run as the other arrows though. As the short. Then there's no way for us to find... No, what am I doing? There's a way. Right, so it finds the short arrows. There should be no limits. Comma. Okay, so it finds all the short arrows. We'll modify them using the motion from the arrow that isn't short. So 1, not nearest, NBT, that's fine. And the tag is short. I'll take the motion. And then we should be able to do the exact same thing for the tag. And the reason we're doing tags is because that's how we'll run the other systems. This command is really messed up. Like I cut a whole portion out of it. I might have accident definitely done that at some point. Anyway, we'll try this. Get rid of that. Right. Increase motion, summon extra arrows, take their motion, take their tags. We need 7 command blocks? 7 command blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they're all conditional. Maybe not yet. 2. Not even. I redid the first one I clicked. Okay. The at S is also an issue right now. I am at S. But we're not getting any red errors, so that's good. About this one. Nope, that looks fine too. Nope, that's wrong. Minimize the notepad. Okay, so they look like they're working. I just need to do execute as us at the front of all of them. Run. Okay, let's see what happens when we shoot. Okay, let's see what happens when we shoot. No. Somewhat okay. But it was going to duplicate infinitely. Because we only want it to run once. Right. I need some sort of requirement. Make sure it doesn't retarget. What's the initial command? Execute as asked, run execute as blah blah blah. Finds the arrow. It's fine. Left owner not in ground. Distance dot dot 2. And then it will decrease the motion. No, let's turn that to 8. Redstone and that. It does not appear to be decreasing motion correctly. So I turned it off. Not enough. We'll stand here. Right. That went there. If we decrease this. Same thing. Okay, so it is decreasing motion. That's good. To some extent. Doesn't feel like it's always detecting the arrows. Kind of is. That one's fine. The summoning extra arrows. Execute as blah blah blah. There we go. There's the hang up. Did not include the tag in those. Nor the motion one. They all need the tag equals exclamation mark short. Pause. Right after the 2. Same with this one. Put that in the right spots? I did. Yeah, let's see if that's a little bit better. Just back to chain. It's active, conditional. Arrows are gone. Shot them, but they just dropped. Right, only one actually shot. But we're not getting infinite duplication. It's nice. Where did that extra one come from? Hey, Swix. I am porting over bow effects. Right, so I'm trying to have this shoot multiple arrows, but it's not taking the motion from the correct one, it looks like. Right, because it's meant to apply the motion from the first arrow you shoot to the extra arrows that are summoned. Go along with... Do I have them in my inventory? No, we'll go. back over here for a second. I'm working on all the custom weapons for the pack. So it's using this affinity system, where you can designate different affinities. Been slowly working on the models. Sorry about the glacial bow. The hang-up is, obviously in the initial version, I had them as command blocks. Now I have to figure out the timing and everything for it as not command blocks. There has to be something wrong here. Yes, there is. I forgot an exclamation mark. No. Execute as, execute from... No, that's fine. So it executes as us. It finds the short arrows. And modifies their motion using the normal arrow. Distance dot 2 left owner in ground. That could be the hang up. Right, because it looks like no motion whatsoever is being applied to them. Yeah, they just fall flat. And this isn't saying it's doing anything either. Summoning all four, that's fine. Just not applying the motion. Shoot as archer, so that selects arrows. Shorts, it's the ones that are being summoned. From entity, archer, limit 1, sort nearest. Since dot 2. I mean, that should be fine. Let's just, I guess, cut out the NBT. No, they still just drop. Still not working. In the initial version, what's the full command? Execute at the player. That's the same. Then execute as the arrow with short. Although we don't use dot 2, we use dot 5. Are they outside our range? Is that what's going on? That's the same, right? Yes. No. Right, because they're not going to be in us either. That's... Don't need sort nearest because there's no limit. And instead of 2, we do 5. Is that correct? I think it's the selection criteria. Because I'm summoning them 1.6 blocks away. So we're here, right? 2 blocks is the diameter, not the radius. Right? For selection. So I'll try this, otherwise, yeah, I'll try changing it to append. Ooh, I couldn't tell if they landed near me. All but one is working now. What? Okay, to start, I suppose. What's happening with the one going backwards? It's hitting something, and that's causing it to go backwards. I mean, I could leave it. You can just shoot one arrow backwards as well. Although I should make sure they're not colliding with us and doing damage. That would be not so great. They do not. They do, sometimes. I guess it's the tilt of your head. Question is, which one? And I assume it's always going to be one of them, depending on the angle we look. Trying to think spatially how I'm doing this. I feel like I'm summoning them 1/6 each direction that way, which is the issue. Although, I should be able to give them the claws to not hit, which I do. I have left owner on them. Right, these are the commands. They have left owner, so they shouldn't be able to collide with us till they leave our hitbox once. Well, I suppose I'm not summoning them in our hitbox, am I? At 1.6. I'd have to cluster them closer for this to work, for it to not to hit us, I suppose. And we'll try it. Go from 1.6 to whatever. To 0.6, why not? I think that's better. No one's still going backwards. I assume means it's still going to hit us. Oh, didn't hit us. So the left owner tag is now working, that's good. I'd kind of like them to space out a bit more. And we're not always shooting backwards either. That time it did. It's like weird dead angles, I guess. Otherwise we're shooting 5 arrows. Better. Guess we just play around with the numbers until they don't hit us. / spread out as much as possible. Right, 9. That sounded like one went backwards. Yeah. Oh, it looks like 0.6 is and was perfect. Fine. As long as the commands work now. I do think I will increase the negative motion though. Make it more short range. The whole idea is you can now do, obviously, like a shotgun. But don't want you necessarily being able to shoot far, although downhill you definitely can. How does it fare against actual mobs, though? Yeah, as long as you can hit clusters. We'll go back to 0.5. Because this was made before you enlightened me. Yes, that is a far better idea. The last one is from your cursor, right? So I just go up, down, and the first one, right for left and right, because that's back. Yes, that is significantly better. And then we can spread them out more. How much though? That's the question. Actually, we don't want to use this one. Do we? We want to go left, right, up, down. Because we still want it to be from the player model, right? Because it has that left owner tag, and that's also how I run the other tagging systems. So we don't want back to front. Ah, we'll try it. First one is left, right, yeah. So that's the one we definitely want. Get rid of all the excess arrows. They're still coming from within us, that's good. I don't think we want that. We don't want back to front. Up it to 1 and -1. At the very least. Yeah, there we go, and they're spaced out better now. Which, you know, we'll just do it as a fan instead. I think that's better. Right. You shoot 5 in a fan. Giving you a wider range of attack, which is nicer. We'll do 7.5, 75 and 1.5, I think. I'll try it, I should say. I think it might be a little annoying. Right, because you can't aim up because of how I'm handling the motion. So I do want them to be short-ranged. Actually, you could probably enlighten me. Is there a way to just halve motion? Right, do your math, right? Rather than just blanket setting it to the negative 0.5. That way you can still shoot up, it'll just go half as far. Question is, are the ones to the side... Oh, there's still one going backwards. Sometimes. We probably need to put them in front of us as well. Just a little. Nah. That's... You saved me. I will make the normal bow auto crits, because I've got 4 affinities. I have some of them in my inventory. Aimed shots, so guaranteed hits. Stock stand original arrows. I think that would be better to tie the crit to. And then there's a armor set that gives it the no gravity as well, so you can shoot in a straight line. And then Ender, which will be self-teleports. Right. Aimed, barrage, Ender, and normal. Yeah. Make sure we're not hitting ourselves. Sounds like we still are. Oh, I guess not. No, there we go. Heal before I forget. Need to clear my inventory anyway. Grab the bows from there. Normal bow. Worry about actually tying it into the armor trims later. Where'd you go? Despawn on me? Let's just get rid of all the... Surely there was nothing I really needed. Okay, so we're still hitting ourselves. We want it to be in front of us. Well, what arrow is hitting us though? Because again, we have the left owner tag. Make sure they're in front of us. Right. I feel like that made it worse. I mean, I can do it in a line and then see. Oh, that's shuttle 5. Sometimes. You do that. Right, if you spam, you're definitely gonna hit yourself. Or is it because I have spread them too much now? That was only 4 arrows, I'm pretty sure. Should really give myself an infinity bow for testing. It doesn't matter if they bounce or go backwards, it's fine. I can live with that. As long as we don't hit ourselves. And there are... there's dead angles again. Right here. Somewhere here. I guess we go overboard with the amount of spread, I suppose. Thing is, I need to isolate which arrow it is. Right. Do that. Swap these from additional. Excuse me. I've got to save. That's why. It's 2 arrows. Annoying to go back and forth. Dead angle was somewhere on this side. I don't think I'd be close to. I could perhaps solve this by adding those special arrows to the same team as the player. Turn off collision. Oh, seems like a lot of commands though to run. Constantly too. This has to be dynamic every time you shoot. Well, I suppose I could set it so it only runs once it detects the arrow. It's easier, it's less lag to just detect the player's inventory than to detect a entity nearby. I mean, somehow, because it's got the left owner tag, right? So somehow it, I can't click on them. It's leaving our collision box, or I should say, it's starting off outside our collision box and then crossing over. Which doesn't really make sense. The 0.5, right? If it was any of them doing it, it should be the 0.5 because they're still inside our box. The 1.5, or 1 in this case, should start here. Right, 1 block away. So it should never cross over our collision box, should it? I mean, I just completely summon them in front of us. That's the other alternative. And then I guess the angle at which you're aiming plays a bit more of an important role if I do that too. Well, I'm also not anchoring at the eyes, am I? I feel like that caused the issue? Now there's more going backwards. Interesting. The two close ones are colliding with the initial one, I assume? That's causing them to go backwards? I think that's better. Cool. Does piercing... Oh, you can, like, add it to the NBT. Otherwise, I was going to say, does piercing not, like, deletes the bouncing collision? Because that could work, if I just give them all piercing. Yeah, some are landing behind us still. And it works most of the time. It has to be the random variation for the play arrow, right? The one you're actually shooting. So I assume it obviously doesn't always originate at the same spot. It must move around to some degree. Because, you know, you don't have a steady aim or constant aim with the initial arrow. So it must be moving over slightly and then causing collisions with the other arrows that cause them to bounce. Shooting up. You know what? Before we tinker with that, fix the motion, right? Uh, do I have to set up a scoreboard? Arrows don't repel each other. Your own hitbox is causing them to fly backwards. Then it has to be the anchoring. Right, so when I tilt at certain angles, because it's not, I haven't anchored it to the eyes. Or that is the issue. I'm having these summon off of the old arrows. Back before we didn't use the up. I broke it, apparently. What? Execute as us. As S at S, run, summon, arrow. I mean, sound-wise, it sounds like it. For custom motion vector, you need scoreboards. I mean, it's not so bad because I already have coordinate scoreboards set up for each because of the wayfinder stuff. right, that indicates players' coordinates. So I can just piggyback off of that. In which case we just get the motion set as the Y, use the operation scoreboard operation to halve it, and then give it back. And then I just have to make sure it only runs once. What is going on with this? Where have my arrows gone? Execute as us, at us, run summon. We saw him for a second there. It's the anchoring thing again. Anchored eyes. Yeah, there we go. And I assume there's not going to be collision now. Yeah, because I was using the arrow as the pinpoint back when we were using coordinates to summon them. Not coordinates, tilde. So it should be fine now. Okay, fix up the motion, and that's another one down. Woots, we're getting one done every 40 minutes. Ugh. Now I'm only going to do Y motion as well. I just want them to fall sooner. They can still hit X target at the same speed. Which means I probably need to tag the initial arrow too. If I want them all to be cut. No, what am I doing? I just need to halve the value of the initial arrow. It's similar to this command. Write in Notepad. Right. Execute as this is targeting that arrow. That's fine. So we set the scoreboard. Halve the scoreboard. Set the motion. 3 commands should be fine, right? Should have the coordinate stuff here. Not done enough yet to remember. WA. Wayfinder. Right, so this, change that to S. That will store the Y coordinate. And then we just do the scoreboard half. Operation. At S, it will be Y1. Percentage or divide? Divide and then just 2. Cool. Source S. Wait, what? I just do 2? No? Operation source, source objective. You have to do a scoreboard by a scoreboard? I can't just input values? I have to set up a scoreboard to have a scale, essentially. Right? Alright, entity, random player. Oh, I guess I'll probably just end up calling it half. Half. That halves it. And then we run the data modify. But instead of set value, we do from. Right. You'll need to make a scoreboard with fake players to make it constant, yeah. Hey, Genuine. The first episode will be up tomorrow. Well, it's probably... Is it tonight? For other places in the world? And then tomorrow for me. 14 hours. Exactly. That helps. Storage. Okay, so I have to store it. And then set it. Storage. The sets. One. Store results. Score. No. So it stores the score. We then do the run execute. And run data, modify, entity, S. Should look this up. Storage. Run scoreboard, plays operation, execute store result, score at S, run data gets, pause. How do I use it to set the motion? Lost on me. Run execute store results. This gets it. This halves it, that's fine. Set value from storage. I need to look up storage. Minecraft. Oh, man. Examples are not very helpful. Still the final value somewhere. The storage does not yet exist, it gets created. Argument, resource location, MBT path, type, scale. Instead of using the operation then, can't I just use scale? And just do 0.5? Could also use no, let's see. S motion bracket 1 byte 0.5. Right. How do I designate where to store it? That's what's confusing me. Wiki doesn't really explain how to call upon it or designate that. This is a path, so MBT is fine. Type is fine. And then scale would halve it, it's fine. But again, utilizing it is really confusing me. I was not being able to click on stuff. Execute at store result motion double. But I'm using the wrong type. I have no idea what. Well, I understand what these are, but I have no understanding of what they mean, I should say. Since you're using double, I'm going to assume I'm meant to use double. But yeah, so halve it. But how do I use it? The wiki's not helping me out. At least this cuts out that middleman. All it says is somewhere. Somewhere, somewhere, somewhere. Let's look up storage. Blah, blah, blah. If, unless, no. Again, at S position, blah, blah, blah. Do I have to store it as a score? Execute at run data get. This should work. Just replace the conditions and make the effective. Alright, we'll give it a go. We're using a other selector, so I should be able to just do add S. Oh, that did not save. Fine. For result, entity motion 1, doubles, or halve it. That, place it here. I don't stand like I know what it's doing. Okay, so executes as asked, blah blah. Then we'll find the arrow, that's limit 1. We'll run execute as that entity. And it will store the results, entity at S, motion 1. Right, okay, so this is the NBT where it... Sorry, this is the path where it actually stores it. I was thinking this was where it was getting it. That makes more sense. Yeah, the easiest thing to do, make sure it works right. Go with something absurd. Like 1,000. And they should go... Right, so it is doing something, because I can't shoot down. If you want shorter range, you can make the scale even smaller. Yeah, so now it's just about finding the happy medium. Know what we're doing wrong? No. I was gonna say we're halving a positive. You shoot down scales affecting, yeah, is a negative number. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Okay. What can we do? We go back and do we use the scoreboard? Positive, it's shrinking, that's fine. Well, the other thing to think about is rounding. Right, because I know rounding is a bit weird for each separate thing. Negative would become a positive. Positive would become a negative if we negative it. You'd have to manually subtract a number from the motion value. And you can still do fun stuff with it. Where did that go? We're shooting down. Way up. Ah, I thought we were cutting corners. Yeah, I want shorter range. So essentially, the best thing to do would be just to use the scoreboard, but instead of doing multiplication, or in this, or division, just subtract a set value from it, right? So, whatever the motion is, minus, say, I don't know, negative 0.5 or something. This is still the end argument, the end command, right? Just change this to the scoreboard. Okay, so it would be y1. I'll change it to short. Short. Division. We want subtraction. Because then we won't run into the error where, yeah, if it's a negative value. Oh, and that's wrong. We don't want position. We want motion for this one. Right, so it stores motion 1 as y1. No, you know what? The y1 should be fine. Then don't scale the motion 1 value down. Scale. Yeah, but you'd still run into the same issues, wouldn't you? Right? Because if it's a negative z, then instead of going left, it'll go right, or whichever way it goes. Same with the x, instead of front and back, it'll go the opposite. You'd need to do, well, how would you do that? Actually, no, you're right, yeah. Because the scale, if I don't make it negative, is fine. Sorry, my mistake. So I can either run two commands controlling the z and x, or three commands controlling the y. I mean, we might as well just test both and see which one feels better. We'll do motion 0. Go 0.5. Can't tell which way that is going though. Turn this off for now. Throw that one. Up 2. That. Go that. This one could be motion 2. This should effectively halve both of them. Which seems to be too much. I don't know, that's... Why is it 2 arrows? Is it 2 arrows? Or is it just glitching out? Yeah, the particles are glitching out. See? So it's going off to the... veering to the left sometimes. And we can reduce the scales. I turned off the wine, didn't I? It's off. Always active, always active. Yeah. 0 is X. And 2's Z, no? Is easier to see with all of the arrows. Do that. Do that. Oh, that was the wrong way. Do that. Don't do that. Additional for a reason. Oh, that's the wrong one. Yes, right now we're shooting. For whatever reason, the scale is too great. I need... What are the values that it normally works with? Because all we're doing is scaling it down by 1. Should make it go, yeah, a lot quicker. So that's fine. We go 0.9, I guess. Have to find the right balance. That's a bit better, right? Every now and then there's that one weird arrow, right? It could be because they're two separate command blocks, yeah? So one of them's not being applied. Seven, 7, 5. Better. I mean, technically the way to think about it, aside from that, is it should go 75% of the way. Very slight. 6, 6. Keep tinkering until we find the right one. Random arrow to the left is interesting. Did I not turn them both on? I don't know, Sweeks. I don't think that's quite working. Visualizing vectors without a graph side, yeah. The arrows are off their path because they are getting close to 0 and then rounding, right? Forcing you to shoot straight, not diagonal. Well, that's why I was just targeting Y, right? Because in that, you know, up and down and then gravity and whatnot is the easiest thing to control. We just make it approach 0 or negative quicker. Then it'll just fall out of the sky quicker, right? So I think just using the scoreboard method and minusing a set value from it. So if you shoot up, right, it'll probably shoot at that angle or something. And then, you know, likewise. But it'll still drop from the sky a lot sooner. Because the Y velocity will accrue quicker, because it's starting from that lower point. You could, like, this method could work. You'd have to still use scoreboards because of the rounding issues. Let's try the Y stuff. Right, so 3, we get, we set Y coordinates or the Y scoreboard as the motion. We'll then just minus from it whatever value we designate. Who's this one? And we store the result motion as Y. Right. And we don't scale it. Scoreboard, objectives, nope. Add, what to call it though? Short constant. Sure, why not? Ooh, dummy. Scoreboard, objectives, nope. Is set Short underscore constant. Constant negative 0.5. Ah, you can't use negative. That's fine. You can't do decimals either. I guess we try 1. I mean, we can halve it, no? Or just every tick. Right, every tick we just add more negative y to it. No, but you can't add. You can only set. We'll try this. Short constant 1. Yes, indeed. The method to go with. For fake players, I would use a special character. Yeah, constant. Period makes it a true fake player since MC doesn't accept periods in... I'll use periods. I can always fix them afterwards. Short constant. This will -1. Should be fine. Probably have to do something to the score. Or we could set up 2 clauses. Right? If the y is positive, it does x, and if it's negative, it does x. And then we can still use the scale option. We'll give it a go. As is. Objectives, display, sidebar y. I assume the -2 is the arrow, right? Because it's constantly adding. It only happened once because of the tags. Turn this off for a second. 2, 2, 1, 1. Okay, so if we aim at those arrows. Yeah, it's going up now. Seems like a similar issue. You need to scale the score of the motion value up by 10,000. Scale it down. Okay. You can do that. And yeah, that's better. That means I need to scale up the short constant, right? Uh, 5,000. I mean, we can tweak it as we go. And then you said scale it back down. 100,000. We're getting Y's motion. That's fine. Do that first. What's messing with it? Set to conditional, so it shouldn't be running. We'll just do that anyway. Aim somewhere consistent. And here, we'll aim at the jukebox. Right. So it's negative 2000-ish. Nicely. Why is it negative? Am I doing the right motion? Anyway. We want to then... Yeah, still minus a negative score. Yeah, you're right. Doing this in my head rather than grabbing it is a nightmare. Let's turn them on. They are on. They're on. I thought I turned them off. Aim at the jukebox. Yeah, okay, so it should be working as intended. Right, so we're aiming at the jukebox. Our motion is 2000-ish. Right, we then turn them on. Still aiming at the jukebox. And the arrow falls short. Finally, we got there in the end. Right, it's doing what we want. No, for some reason I just thought it was a positive constant. Well, not constant, but it would be positive at the initial shot, right? And then as gravity, as the motion ticks down, it would start falling negative. But I guess it has a set negative straight away. And then that just balances out the arc of where you're aiming. Anyway, now we just have to tinker with it, right? So this falls 2 blocks shorter. At 5,000. 10,000. Not falling any shorter. Interesting. Rounding again? And this should go nowhere. No. I'm confused now. It looked like it was working. But now it's not. They're on. They're on. I'm doing this correctly, right? Set motion, scale. Did I mess up the scale? Yeah, that's working. I must have messed up the scale, right? And the scale in itself is decreasing the motion. One, two, three, 4, 5. Yeah. Ah, okay. So I can only set the negative value to a certain extent. But I feel like at negative 10, it would just drop. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm missing a 0, am I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It works to whatever extent. Right? We can no longer hit the jukebox. We're falling 2 blocks short. Not gonna lie, I don't understand the math. I understand conceptually what we're doing, but I need everything in front of me to understand it properly. I mean, the constant right now is 0, is it not? That's what we last said as. I mean, if 3,000 is the initial, we want half that, right? So 1,500. Alright. Do that. Ooh, I can't see where I'm aiming. So, it's 2 blocks short. End of the day, we accomplished what we wanted, more or less. Probably wants to do that as well. That's the final thing. So they don't sit there constantly. Right, so we shoot down there when it's on, when it's off. We shoot up there. 2 blocks different. It's not really as much of a drop-off as what I would like. What we can do. Have to really fine-tune it. I have to, like you said, graph it. Especially if I have the upper limits, like you're saying, the 10. To figure out the exact amount I could do. I mean, technically this is going to, what, 0.15 instead of 0.3. So we should be able to make it smaller. I don't know. Do that. Alright, if we just shoot slightly over the block. I'm going higher. Where's it going higher? What if we use a percentage? Need to use Excel. Now, percentage wouldn't work though, because if we make the negative value smaller, it's still gonna go. It's gonna go further. Arrows Y, well, motion, should be 0.3. Right? We start at 0.3. We're timing it by 10,000. We get to that 3,000. It's for converting value into a value on a set range of values, nor not recommended for this sort of stuff. Alright, fair enough. Okay, so then we're at 3,000. We're then minusing the constant from it. In this case, we had it at 1,500. And then we are... Sorry, I'm mapping it out in Excel for me. Then we're scaling it back by 0.00... 40? I think it was 4 zeros. 3 zeros. 3 zeros. Okay, so that should theoretically halve velocity. Right, if we were to make it into a negative number, so we were to minus, say, 4,000, then it becomes a positive number because of the scaling. Right? Or did I do that wrong? I think I did that wrong. No. Still says negative number. That should be fine. Negative number should drop from the sky higher, quicker. Just make the constant 10,000. On, it's always on. Here we can see, right, set it to a huge negative number. That then got scaled. Is selecting the right thing, right? Am I putting the scale in the wrong region? Am I meant to put it on this side? But it's still doing that. Scaling is right. So if I'm shooting down, the Y is definitely negative. It shouldn't be re-evaluating as positive, then going up. Right? It should just hit the ground quicker. Turn this off. Turn this off. Turn this off. Right. We shoot at the ground. Huge negative number. Why did that reset? Oh, because the entity died. Quote. Right, so huge negative number. At that level of the negative number, what we're adding to it shouldn't make a big difference. In which case, it shouldn't still hit that negative 10 value that you're saying is the issue. Right. We were applying, say, 5,000 to it. It would be negative 2. Yet, for whatever reason, it was going up there. I shouldn't have adjusted the constant. We should have checked what it's setting the Y as. Leave that one off. Right, so if we aim down here, it's now negative, much higher negative number. I think the game stops applying the motion from the commands once it reaches a value lower than that or negative 10,000 in the score. So wouldn't the solution just be to adjust the scaling? 1,000, 0. Right, because now it's under that level. Yeah, if we're aiming at the jukebox, it's working perfectly as intended. Right, we can't hit the jukebox, now going lower. Just this, when you aim at the ground, right? You know what? It feels like it's happening. It's hitting the ground too fast. Yeah? That, that makes sense, right? It's not sticking in the ground. It's being pushed out because it has the in-ground 0B, the false flag. Right? And that's causing it to ricochet. Because right now it's doing as intended. Right? We can see it go down and then go up. Whereas before, when it was that value higher than 10,000, right, it was just shooting straight. Same with this, right? It must be clipping on the bottom there versus this. We have motion very deep into the negatives, deducting more than it tips it over the -10. So it is just about fine-tuning it. Fine-tuning the values. Oh, excuse me? Where'd the sun go? Is it meant to be raining? Is that... interesting? What I want to do is essentially halve it. Do we just use this method and then go back to the X and Z? Or I can just keep with the constant value, right? Setting the motion value to whatever it was, -0.5. So this seems to be the upper limit of how low you can make the motion go, essentially. Let's just do this. Do that. Set up another one. But only one step every tick. I think it's rather than fine-tuning it, you need to set conditions higher, the initial blah blah blah, the more you deduct. But only once. Well, it shouldn't be applying it every tick, right? Because right now the arrows have those key flags, right? So as soon as it leaves our hitbox, it stops applying, and as soon as it's not in 0.2 blocks, which from testing only occurs for... well, actually, you could be right, right? It could be applying more than once. But from all my testing, it shouldn't apply it more than that. This is the like fine-tuning for detecting arrows in your hitbox and doing something with it. But you're probably right, no. Yeah, think about it, this is probably running too often. Although we should see it reflected in the scores, no? The fact that this only updates that once and gives us the value. It should loop, right? And grow exponentially. So I'd have to set up ranges then. Or set up an argument where The amount, it's the constant changes depending on the initial. I just need to see. Right, what is it if we don't scale it? 0 because of rounding. If we scale it to 10, 4, 40. So it's 0.4. Depending on the angle. Shooting directly down. Negative 300. Right, so theoretically, with your negative 10, I could add, or I could minus 700 from it. And also going up should be the 125, right, the height of what we can get the positive value to. Oh, but then when it falls down, reaches 300 as well. Yeah. So I should probably do that first. All good. You've already helped me tons. I mean, I'm just gonna bash my head against it till it works. That's basically how I problem solve. Sounds good. I'm going to figure it out. Still makes it go that way. Shooting down is weird. I should probably wrap up too. Oh, it feels kind of bad that I've been just working on the same thing for an hour. 2 hours? Hour and a bit. Active every day and currently working on armor and weaponry for the map. Yeah, I saw all the vampire stuff. Looks awesome. Cool. I really, yeah, I should update to Discord. Because I'm somewhat approaching the end. Well, not the end, but release. I just have to do the weapon system and then mobs, and then it's good to go. If I keep reaching hurdles like this, it's gonna take longer than intended. Can't use decimals, it's fine. Work with 10. Right. So I know if this gets to 10, right, we're over that threshold. Sorry, over 100. If I mess with the Y with the negative in any way, it looks like it messed up the collision. It's 1. Make it 1. Does it still mess up? Yeah, it still messes up. And no matter the scaling too. Go back to 10,000. I'm tweaking it slightly, ever so slightly, and it's still messing up. I'm doing that, just clear. Well, not what I wanted to get done, but yeah. I should take a break and then go have lunch. Ugh. Pretty uneventful. We got one thing done, right? And technically we got the barrage stuff done. I mean, I could always just not worry about messing with the motion. Just allow the player to shoot a barrage. I just have to increase the power of everything else to compensate, right? If I'm not messing around with the motion. So for instance, the sure hit one is decent because it guarantees you can hit the closest target, I should say. I mean, I could cut it down to 3 arrows, I guess, instead of 5, as well as a way to balance it better, and then not worry about declining or decreasing the range. It's probably the simplest thing to do rather than say spend a bunch of time trying to balance this and get to work. Plus, less constant commands, right? So less TPS. And then the other arrow will be teleport on hits. That has its utility use. You could still have reason to take that over the barrage. And then just, yeah, give crits, probably maybe some degree of piercing or higher damage to the normal arrows. As a way to balance against that. Right, otherwise, essentially, why would you take the normal arrows when you can barrage? I will think about it. Right, after I eat. Alright. Yeah. Assume you've gone to bed, Swix. If not, go to bed. Thanks for the help. See ya.